Hello everybody. It looks like spring is just around the corner, so that means right now it's time for winter maintenance. But first, let's play a game. I'm going to give $100 cash card giveaway to one lucky viewer. To qualify, read the directions down below in the description and definitely watch the video, no cheating, and good luck. Okay friends, I really am going to give a $100 cash card away to one lucky viewer, but first, let's do some winter maintenance. I have brought a lot of my succulents indoors, and they didn't do that well because I didn't have enough sunlight coming into the house. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I do winter maintenance. This is my first year. And I'm really excited because most of the succulents are pretty happy. Like this guy gave me 1, 2, 3. He gave me 4 babies, or she did. She gave me 4 babies. So anyway, let's go. All right, the first thing that we need to do with this plant, with this big old succulent, is we need to get to the pups that are underneath. And this mama is heavy. Wow. And she's got a full root system going. I don't want to disturb that. But I'm going to set her down on the table and try to clear away all of the dry, dead leaves. So that's part of winter maintenance. Get rid of all the leaves. And that'll make it easier to pull back the healthy leaves so that I can find some space to get my scissors or my X-Acto knife in there. And about this time in the video, I just spotted a spider. Oh no. It's a big one too. Hold on, it's coming. I'll show you. All right, so the spider is here somewhere in the root ball. There he is. So I'm not afraid of spiders, and in fact, I like spiders. So I'm definitely not going to kill him. I'm just going to capture him and put him outdoors. Okay, now that that's done, pardon my reach, I need to get some of my tools. Yep, that spider got tossed out the window. All right, now it is time to get in there and do a little bit of surgery. Oh yeah, I'm a surgeon. Okay, so clean up with a brush, okay? Get all of the soil just dusted away from the little baby succulents, okay? And if you find any dirt or dust on the stem, on the wet part of the baby succulent after you've trimmed it off, you need to make sure that that gets wiped away. These are part of, this is part of the reason that you'll get the root rot. Okay, so the best process for this is just to pull the succulent away from its center core. Okay, so see, I'm using a makeup brush and I'm getting all of the soil particles and dust off of this baby, off of this little puppy. And we're going to set those aside because you can't do anything with them for a couple of days. You'll set those aside. And these are actually pretty big, so I want to let them dry out for, I would say, at least 3 days before I pot them. Maybe even up to a week. So if you are a true newbie and you don't understand the process, when you're trimming off the pups from the mother plant, it's really important not to repot that baby in wet soil. You need to let the stem callus over. And when I say callus, I mean dry up. And that size of little baby succulents, I'm going to definitely give at least 4 to 7 days. And I'm going to pull a few of the leaves off, and you know that you can propagate these leaves, and I'll show you how to do that later in the video. But I want to pull just a few of the leaves off the mother plant, even though they're still healthy, because there are a couple more babies down there, and they're being squished. So what I'm trying to do is just give them a little bit more room so that they grow. You know, they need a little bit of breathing room. And so there's 2 more there that I'll need to get to. But I want to give them, you know, a couple of months. Ooh, there's another one. That's definitely mature enough to trim off. And so let's capture one more. Hey, did you notice my t-shirt? Yeah, my family's from Telluride. I love Telluride. My grandma and grandpa kind of started that town. Love you, Ione and Troy. They're up in heaven now. All right, so let's set this one aside. We're just cleaning up. Set that aside. And now I will repot the mother succulent in a new pot. And she's good to go. Everything that needed to be done with her is finished. But I'm definitely putting her in a new pot, not going to put her in that original arrangement that I showed you earlier. Oh boy, have we got something really unique and special here. So I guess this is a burro's tail, donkey's tail. All right, but because I brought these babies into the house to protect them from the cold California winter, well, they exfoliated. They got leggy. And so look at this baby just shooting right up into the sun for more nourishment. So the maintenance on this little baby, we're going to go ahead and, as you saw on the video already, I trimmed off and pulled off some of the tiny little leaves on the stem. And then right now I'm clipping off an offshoot. So this baby is already having babies. What in the heck is happening over at that high school? Okay. So anyway, don't repot him anytime soon. All right, and now we're on to this guy. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I'm not sure what this is. Echeveria? All right, so whereas I don't really know the names, the scientific names of all my succulents, I do know what I'm doing now. Because 1 year ago, I started watching all the succulent videos on YouTube. And there are so many incredible YouTube people out there that know what the heck they're doing with succulents. So I learned a lot, and my succulents are, you know, really growing. I started with about 60. I'm pretty sure I'm up to about 200 or more, maybe 250. All right, so on this succulent, I had beheaded it long ago, like 6 months ago, and I have already cultivated, oh man, I would say at least 40 babies because the stem propagation, wherever you pull a leaf, a brand new succulent baby will emerge. And because this plant is so healthy and happy, these little babies are coming out faster than I can take care of them. So what I'm going to do is just, I want to take the larger ones that are fully developed, and these very tiny ones I'm going to go ahead and keep on the stem. And that leggy succulent, that little baby, I'm going to let it grow up to be big. Okay, on this one, he was a little bit wonky. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but see, there's the little cluster. These two little succulents are clustered up together. And so I'm just cutting them right down the center. And I'm going to just set them on a little bit of soil and just wait for a little bit until they've got a root system and repot them. So now every place that I was able to pull off a leaf or one of the babies, this probably is going to go ahead and propagate and give me more babies on the stem. Okay, now let's talk about this situation of letting your small succulents callus over. If you'll notice, I've got a conglomeration of different size succulents. And what I like to do is I like to set them face down. Oh, that's a pretty rosette. So put them all face down, and that will give them a chance to air dry. Okay, so now we're on to a new project with our winter maintenance. These beautiful little succulents, they grew so fast because they were reaching for sun, and so they became what we know is, I guess the adjective is leggy. So I should have cut off the tops, the rosettes, and put them in soil and put them in a sunny window. So those are leggy, but I'm going to leave them as is and plant them in the yard like that. Now this one, she was so beautiful. 3 months ago when I brought her in, she was so incredibly gorgeous. But the reason I brought this plant in is because it has been my favorite, but I didn't want the thirsty birds outside to start pecking at the leaves. So I brought her in, and what ended up happening is her leaves grew out so long that her root system would never dry out between waterings. So I didn't know that. And then now, as you can tell, that's why all of her leaves are drooping down. She's not getting enough sun. So I'm going to repot her back in the backyard where we have full sun this coming spring, and she'll be fine. On these little things, they're so pretty. These are just beautiful little succulents that I bought about 6 months ago, and they're not growing, which I'm fine with. I just love them. I think they're very pretty, and these are succulents that I just don't care if they get bigger because they're pretty just as they are. But one thing that I want to show you is when it gets hot, sometimes critters and birds will be out in your yard looking for moisture. Okay? And so the birds have started to peck at some of the leaves of my succulents. And a big chunk is missing right out of that leaf. And this one also. Just a big old chunk. There's no insects or bugs in there. There's no worms or anything. It is a clear chunk taken out by a critter, and those critters are birds. So I put some big bird baths in the backyard, and that has helped a lot. So just a warning and a tip for all of you growers out there. Make sure that your critters have water so they don't come looking for moisture out of your succulents. On to a new project in this winter maintenance video. All right, so these guys were all really small in early winter. And I didn't think that they would survive the, cold that we might get on occasion here in Northern California. So when I brought them in, I thought they would be happy and fine, but look at them. They've all grown up really tall, and they didn't grow out, they didn't fill out, and so what I'm doing now is clipping off the rosette. And when you go to do this with your succulents, please remember to pull away a couple of the healthy leaves to give yourself enough stem that once you pop that on top of soil, it's got enough of an area that's going to start a root program for that little plant, So a lot of times what we do is we just clip off the rosette and set it aside and let the stem callus. But then when you go to repot it, you think, oh, I need more of the stem, and you'll go to pull off some of the healthy stems then. And once you put that in wet soil, that is a guaranteed recipe for root rot. And we don't want root rot. That's not pretty. And that hurts our succulents and probably most of the time kills them. Okay, so I'm just continuing on. And I'll just repeat again, just as I'm doing right there. I'm taking off a lot of the healthy leaves just to give my rosette enough area to dig in and build a root program. All right. And with the original mother succulent that exfoliated and got leggy on me, I'm taking off virtually all of the healthy leaves. And remember, you can propagate succulents, baby succulents, from healthy leaves. So set those aside on some soil and let them get some roots shooting out. But here's a tip. Leave a healthy leaf at the very top of the stem for your stem propagation. And also leave a healthy leaf at the bottom also. Because what will happen is these leaves are going to want to suck up moisture up into the stem when you water that plant. And it's safe to water the stem just as it is right away, because the area that you've pulled off the healthy leaves off of the stem, they're not going to get wet, and don't spray it, don't mist it. Okay, just going along with the program. As you can see there, I've got my Telluride t-shirt on. I grew up in Colorado. My grandparents had a ranch outside of Telluride. They actually started the town of Telluride, basically, because they were the owners of the very first grocery store in Telluride. It was fabulous. It was amazing. My grandparents were so smart. They were true entrepreneurs. They started the grocery store in Telluride, which was a hit. They also built a big ranch, and then Grandpa built Grandma a restaurant, a truck stop cafe on the ranch, and that was super successful. My grandparents were just amazing. I love them so much. Sending you love, Grandma and Grandpa. Troy and Ione, out of Telluride, Colorado. They were amazing. All right, so enough about me. How do you like me? Okay, no negative comments, please. All right, so remember, if you're still listening, listen a little bit longer, because I'm going to be asking that like super secret question, right? Where if you watch my video and you answer the question down in comments and you subscribe and you watch the video in full, you are going to be qualified for a $100 cash card. All right, so I'm just doing what I had already mentioned to you, pulling off all the dead leaves, and I'm also pulling off the healthy leaves because I'm going to propagate these for more succulents. I don't want to be redundant, and I won't say it again. But after I've pulled off all these leaves, the next step is that I want all of these parent stems to hang out together. So I'm going to take them out of their little mini pots and put them in another pot all together. And I don't advise putting these out in the sun. Just put them in a sunny spot in your home. And within weeks, you will see baby succulents shooting out of the stems. It's amazing. I'll be showing you stem propagation here in the video, and you'll get to see firsthand how prolific some of these stems are when they start shooting off babies. All right, so you see what's happening here. I'm just going to let all these little mama plants hang out together. All right, here's the next project. This was a beautiful little echeveria, I think. And it was beautiful. And then again, not enough sun, but it is giving babies. So I'm going to go ahead and get those taken off and get a root system going for them. And then I'm going to clip off the very top rosette and pull off the healthy leaves for stem propagation. So look for the next. All right, so I pulled off all the healthy leaves off of that stem, and I can tell these are going to root pretty easily because they have, when I snapped these off the stem, off the mother stem, many of them kind of came with a little bit of the flesh from the parental stem, and that's a good sign. So two things will happen with this plant. I will get babies and offshoots off the stem and also off those healthy leaves. And there's the rosette, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. So I want to show you how much of a stem that I've left intact. I'm going to set this aside and let it callus over, but it has about 1/4 inch stem, and that's enough. Doesn't need much. So that one's going to be set aside for a couple of days before I repot it. Okay, let's continue to talk about stem propagation. I had beheaded this guy, and look at it now. It just gave so many babies, and in fact, this is the second time that I am clipping off babies off of these two stems. I mean, I could have got 50 succulents off of this. It's been amazing. All right, I clipped all of the large offshoots off of these two stems because there are a lot of babies underneath and they need sunlight to grow strong. So that's what I did with this. And again, we're going to get more baby offshoots off these stems. Okay, if you will look at these, I'm going to show you 3 examples. This little one is very wrinkly. That means he does not have a good root system. Big Sissy right here is better, and then Big Sissy over here is even much better. Good root system. Yes, a good root system means everything to a newborn succulent. And I'm going to take these out with my tweezers because what I want to do, and this is part of winter maintenance, any of your larger succulents that are growing and look really healthy with a good root system, you need to pull them out of the propagation tray because you've got to make room for, you know, your propagation leaves. And at this size, these succulents need their own little pots. So all you need to do is pop them in a little pot of fresh soil. And these guys are going to stay a little bit longer. That jade looks really robust. Oh, but this guy, oh my gosh, see? Not the best root system. And here's the burrow's tail, I think. Ooh, he's got a good root system. He deserves his own little house now too, so he's going to be placed in a little pot. All right, and now what's next? Let's talk about what happens when roots are exposed. These little leaves are shooting out their root system, but when it's exposed to the atmosphere, these little roots are tender and they could burn off in the sunshine. So you don't really have to dig a hole for the roots. Even if you place particles and soil and bark chips up on top of, the root area, that's fine. Just try to do the best that you can. And then you're sure to be able to get some propagated succulents off these mother leaves. All right, so here's the situation. There's a pattern to all of these succulents. They're leaning towards the window. Why? Because they didn't get enough sun this winter. So, I'm going to ask you, what is your situation with your succulents? Okay, that's the question. What's going on with your succulents? Give me an idea of what your challenges are. Now, here is the burrow's tail. Look, these don't look that healthy. They look very wonky. And I have an idea. Someone told me they believe it is bugs. This is what a healthy burrow's tail should look like when it's new. Okay, and this is a healthy one also. So this is the shape and size that you want your burrow tail to start out looking like. Well, I'm about ready to wrap this video up. I really appreciate you watching. If you want to see my winter garden tour, you can click the link below. Just a reminder to go to the description and read the rules for the giveaway. Okay, so you qualify. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.